Welcome. So today, I think the last couple of times I talk too much, and I feel like I'm talking too much, much of the time. And I know we didn't ask it last week, but we do ask from time to time, when you come, bring something in your pocket to share with us. And we can give you a few moments to think about that. Oh, wasn't asked last week. We haven't put something in our pocket right now. I give you a few moments to think about that. And in the meantime, at least I can give you a little news from this part of the world that with Italy opening up, I mean, we don't know how much is open, but it's opened up as much as it has, which is to some extent. And yesterday we were able to do Harinam here in our vicinity and in the grounds of the garden of the kiosk, the food kiosk outside, which they run on Saturday and Sunday. And we had over 30 people here at one time. I mean, actually here, seated, taking meals, all this, that, and the other, as well as people coming and going to the store. And it was such a relief and reminder of being in Sankirtan in public. It is somehow very special. And we were able to do Sankirtan, and it's almost like the rest of the world drops away somewhere. And who is watching or taking photos, because it's the photograph age of selfies, this, that, and the other. That all dropped into the background. And it really kind of a little reminder that the Yuga Dharma is Harinama Sankirtan, the Kirtan. And as far as possible, Sankirtan, the chanting of the names congregationally. And this was Mahaprabhu's method. He went all over India and chanting. Of course, Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. The quality of his chanting, that is of another matter. But still, this is the very means that we've been given to engage ourselves and to spread the holy name around. So after basically being locked down for a long time, it was one kind of feeling of liberation. We were chanting together, and we got our kirtan group, and the people were very happy. I mean, grown up, middle-aged adults, like swaying and dancing and tapping, and then but actually very good questions and good people. We see everybody's a good person if only they can be in an environment to hear good things, if you like. So let us be encouraged by that. Let us be encouraged by our own experience to share the Harinam Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is why we are here. Hare Krishna, and Indupati Prabhu has joined us too. So welcome indeed. Govinda, Govinda. So dear devotees, you had a little time to put something in your pocket, and I would like to ask the Kumkum Didi to start us off kindly, because as we mentioned at the beginning, she really is our senior devotee with so much experience from not only herself being young, but the mission being extremely young. The mission means the wave of Krishna consciousness in the Western world, being extremely young. So, Kumkum Didi, from whatever you like to give us, more or less on the theme of back to basics, with the basics of our devotional life, please let us hear a few words from you kindly.
You're very kind to even think like that, but I can say something about what I've been taught. Been so blessed, and this week it came very much alive with the divine appearance of Śrīla Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Mahārāj, because we're, as I say, a stone's throw away from where he actually did his magic work. So on his Vyas Puj Day, I walked over to that building where in the garage, they didn't simply prepare all of those words which are transcribed from Srila Guru Mahārāj. They actually did the publishing on site. They had purchased a press, and they did all of the printing right there. The devotees would get together and created all of those beautiful first books, like Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, and then the ones that followed. And I was so fortunate because we were only about 3 hours away by car, and that seemed like nothing. We would drive as often as we could to come and try to learn about what he was doing, because we had just lost Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj's direct association a few years before, and we felt so bereft. It seemed like the world was very dark for the longest time. And then Goswami Maharaj began to actually make a very prominent display of all of these works. And when more and more of the books started coming into print, we ate it up. But when we would drive to San Jose, he would not only was he doing all of this publishing and getting that together with hardly any support at first, but gradually more and more people came to understand the extreme value of what he was doing. But he was also giving the classes in such a way that he would play the videos themselves of Srila Guru Mahārāj speaking, and he had to get a special machine to play them, because things weren't, what's the word they say now, where anything goes across any platform. There was there was a VCR or two in United States, but the one they had been recorded on was called Beta, and he had to purchase one of those with great difficulty, but he managed to, and he brought that to the temple in San Jose, and that's what he would play. And he would pause also. He would start playing. So we got to see Srila Guru Mahārāj's divine form, but then he would have to keep stopping it because we couldn't understand even Guru Mahārāj's words, but what to speak of the meaning of the topics. And it was all really about helping us to go from thinking that this is somebody who could tell us about Srila Prabhupada to this is Srila Prabhupada is Sri Guru, and so is Srila Guru Mahārāj. This is the same wine in a different bottle, and so this was life-giving, and that's why we couldn't stay away. We couldn't refrain. I remember when Loving Search came out, and I can tell you the page number. When I got to, I started reading, it was only page 11, and I just had to start getting on the telephone and calling all of the devotees in our community. Listen to this, because Srila Prabhupada gave us all of this, but we didn't really grasp it because we were so new. We were still trying to figure out how to put one foot in front of the other. And then Goswami Maharaj was giving us these divine books and also the lectures and all the explanations. And we had the opportunity to just plain raise our hand and ask him, what does this mean? So the value, the extreme wealth that we were receiving in those days. And so the other day on his appearance day, I just walked it. Well, I actually drove, we could walk, but I was going somewhere else anyway in my car. And so I got out and just took a picture of the garage. I knew the current owners wouldn't be very happy if I started walking all over their lawn. So I tried to be discreet, but I had to get a picture of just to meditate on it. I posted that on Facebook, and it's remarkable how many people who were involved, just the sight of the garage. And of course, it's not just the physical place. It's all of the activities that went on there, but we can go back in our mind. So for us, that was it was like going to the Holy Dam. I had actually attended there a few times and then went to the Holy Dam for the first time. And when I came back, that was such a wonderful experience to go and have the association of Śrīla Mahārāj. And when I came back, then the next time I went to the 13th Street Temple in San Jose and saw Goswami Maharaj, I was amazed to see how, if I look out the window, I'm going to see a different street sign perhaps. Otherwise, that's the only difference. This is the same as being in the Holy Dam. So all of those very vivid, very affirming, faith-giving times we were able to have. And that's why, even though the city of San Jose is not it's not pleasant in the sense of a, beautiful, garden-like or ocean or things like that. It's a city, but we're so close to where those activities took place that changed the whole world. It was the same as when Srila Prabhupada came and he changed the whole world. Now, this was a second time that happened, because it created the depth that we needed, that everyone needed. So that's what I've been absorbed in. Fortune.
Kumkum Diri, word perfect, heart perfect, beautiful. And that day, well, here's Paramanandapu, the MC of the day, that program from Chiang Mai. And we have you there, Kumkum Diri, to speak also. But that there were many, and Goswami Maharaj, he asked that in his disciples will have the opportunity. So we very much kind of feel, oh no, I should have given, I felt I should have given a special mention to you when you were there. Today, we've heard your really, and then we would have been limited to about like 5 minutes or so. Now we've been blessed with 15 minutes, and that's wonderful.
Well, can you imagine how wonderful it was after what I went through back in, what was that, 1980? 6 or something like that, to hear all of his disciples and people close to him now, knowing how fragile his position could have been were it not for his incredibly strong faith. But because it was so strong, now all of those years later, 30, 40 years later, all of these other very sincere disciples are getting that same thing. So that was my happiness to hear, just to be invited and be able to witness all of those things made me overjoyed.
And Kumkum Diri, she gave me, she led the parikrama in San Jose, and we walked to that temple, that garage. So I haven't seen your picture on Facebook, but I do have the picture from being taken there. And I fully agree, we want to stop there and offer some flowers or do something at that place. It is actually the worshipable place where the books of Srila Guru Maharaj first fructified, came out, if you like, bloomed in the Western world, as well as the place where the devotees, that section of faithful, brave devotees, they came together. So we're very happy. And what you say about how you were so inspired to have the video played and then stopping throughout. This is still going on in the world today. It's going on in Italy today. It's going on when we're in Thailand, in Thailand and in different places. We mustn't just take it for granted, because now there are videos, there are so many books, there are so many recordings and things. We always have to remember not to take these things for granted just because we have them like readily available, even at the 2 or 3 clicks from our fingers. So many reminders there, yes, and how the world is indebted for the saver. Of course, that is giant saver, but with, as you said, he was assisted by others. So everybody's participation is all logged in Krishna's book, not in Yamaraj's book. In fact, Yamaraj has been told to throw out his records for the Vaishnavas. They're logged in another kind of a book. And really, this is where there is devotion, then everybody is getting benefit. Those who are directly doing it, those who are assisting to do it, those many people who donated through the different, some are giving 50 cents, some are giving $1 by the collection of the devotees, as well as the devotees themselves who are giving from their paychecks to make everything come into being. So another reminder from Guru Mahārāj, how where there is the Vaishnava, from there is coming purification. That substantial link. And that garage in San Jose, I also agree. Sorry to say, San Jose is not a very beautiful city. For all of its world famousness at the center of Silicon Valley, somehow or another, it just didn't make it in the architecture department or the town planning department somehow.
Yes.
Sorry, San Jose town planners, but they did make what is it? What is the name of the street that is on? 9th?
13th.
13th Street. Okay, they did make 13th Street, and they did give the facility for such things to happen there. So even the town planners of San Jose must be getting some Agyata Sukriti down the line somewhere.
Yes, and the other night, well, it was morning there, Devashish Prabhu was speaking so joyfully about the Zoom software because of the Sangha that it gives us. And so I asked him to please bless San Jose. He said, I want to, what did he say about the algorithm that created the software? And so I said, okay, so that's here. They're headquartered here. And of course, all of this, what became known all over the world, so great, Silicon Valley, all of this technology happened after Goswami Maharaj started doing all of this seva. I think there's a connection. All of the blessings came here.
You know, I'm thinking of Siddhanti Maharaj too. And you know how Siddhanti Maharaj, when Gurudev was doing the world tours and he was traveling in India, he went to the airline and told them, look, our Gurudev is traveling on, he likes your airplane, he's traveling on your airplanes. You please give him free tickets. It's good for your airline. You can do it. And why have you got an airline? And it was Jet Airways, Indian airline. An Indian airline, not Indian Airlines, called Jet Airways. And by Siddhanti Maharaj going to the company, they actually gave two return flights a year from Calcutta to actually wherever he wanted to go in India, but 2 return flights a year for Gurudev and 1 assistant. So if you're there in wherever Zoom is there, you can think of Siddhanti Maharaj and say, maybe the Vaishnavas, you are doing this and you're getting so much income from all the businesses, etc. Okay. Make an exception for the Vaishnavas and your business will also, everything will be auspicious, but it will be auspicious for you. There's a thought, it's not anything more than that. Thinking of Siddhanti Maharaj also from there, another Californian hero.
Yes, yes. Going back so far.
So maybe we'll come from our senior most devotee to who will be senior most in the future. Now she's young, but in the future she will have had a life of experience, and that's come to Seva Rupa Devidasi. And I know that's a very difficult, that's a very hard act to follow, as they say, but Seva Rupa Didi, you have your perspective of the world and everybody's got something in their pocket. And she can remember very recently, why has she become a devotee? So everybody, we've got something in our heart which has brought us to our devotional life, brought us to our family. But whatever way you like to say about Krishna, Seva Rupa Didi.
Dandavats Maharaj. Yes, that is, and to everybody, Dandavats. I, like you said in the beginning, I'm really just taking so much blessing from being here amongst all of you, and all the association, which I know I don't get enough of, and hearing all of your nourishment. I feel so really unqualified. I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot, but yeah, from my perspective, what was I reading or coming across this week was something from Śrīla Mahārāj, where he was speaking about us being the marginal energy, and I think just the way he put it, like someone experimenting with drugs, and how we came to be in this plane or in Maya, and it sounded like that hit home, like so relevant while I was reading it, and still is. And the part where, if I had to see the tip of my hair and think that, please forgive me, I could be getting so many things wrong, but that we are actually like, if I had to split that into 10,000 pieces, and one of that piece is what's inside of here that's making all of this alive, and how much I relate to actually this being who I am. And the other part of knowing that, my mom had grown up, had dedicated her life and lived in the temple, although I didn't live with her, but how important it is to also sometimes, just include your family, to have kind of a balance. So yeah, that's actually everything that's been happening with me this week. So
wonderful. And everything was perfect, Satan. Very happy to hear. Hare Krishna. And yes, welcome. And I'd just like to welcome also on Facebook our dear friend, who's, when we mention his name, everyone's face lights up. Krishna Chandra Prabhu, we're very happy to have you with us, really, and lots of affection to you. Jagannath Swami Prabhu is also with us, and again, very happy to have you with us, our obeisances. And Narayani Nadir is watching also, so Narayani Nadir, very welcome. And we owe some emails to some people, so we'll try to keep up. And Ivan is still with us. Indupati Prabhu is still with us, and Anukul Chandra Prabhu there. So wonderful to having you with us. Oh, lots of love hearts coming up on Facebook. Okay, we don't have love hearts on Zoom, but we do have our hearts here jumping about with each other. And in the meantime, Jayadev Prabhu has manifest from somewhere, and their vehicle has stopped moving. They're now somewhere. Jayadev Prabhu. Is it a picture? Oh no, it's moving. They are with us. Dandavat Jayadev Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So, Paramananda Prabhu, who should I ask to speak next? Should I ask Paramananda Prabhu to say something?
You can ask Rupanuga Das, whom we're missing dearly. Just a few words, Rupanuga Prabhu.
Okay, I second that.
I would like to ask a question instead of a statement.
Okay,
if I may.
Paramananda Prabhu is listening attentively, yes.
Well, it was one of the most auspicious moments when I was traveling in India with you, when we went to that well in Puri, named after Paramananda. And I was wanting to know the background story to that well when we tasted that water, and after thousands of years it was still sweet. And I looked up and I saw the Raghunath Puri temple. And yeah, I'd like the background story on that, please, if I may.
Who better to give the answer than who we already had lined up to give the answer? Paramananda Das Prabhu.
And Rupanuga Prabhu, it was honor to have your company. Really.
Yep.
You were an example of not just tolerance. You didn't just tolerate it, but happily participated in everything. And yes, we went to that well. And remember when Ame Sindhu Prabhu, we came and we wanted to have a few drops of water, but there was no rope and there was no bucket. Everything was gone. I don't know what happened. It's India, things happen. So Ame Sindhu Prabhu, he ran into a store nearby and then he got some rope and then he couldn't find any buckets. So we had a little bottle of Bisleri, a mineral water bottle, and then he cut it expertly and then we just dropped it in and got a little water on our heads. Anyway, it was a happy event. And it did belong, that well is in the place where Paramananda Puri was staying. And Paramananda Puri, he was a very dear associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was also a senior person, being a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. We hear how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled all over South India. And this is where he meets Paramananda Puri. And there was a beautiful description how they spend days overwhelmed by Krishna Prema, dancing, discussing subjects about Krishna, being very happy, supremely happy in the company of each other. And then Mahaprabhu said, how can I tolerate separation from such a Vaishnava? So please bless me by your presence, please. Instead, wherever you're thinking to go to Puri. I will arrange a place for you to stay, and soon I myself will come there. So almost the same time, Mahaprabhu arrives and Paramananda Puri, he comes. And considering him a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, Mahaprabhu is always giving him honor, just like if he would give honor to his spiritual master, Ishvara Puri. And Paramananda Puri and Ishvara Puri, the spiritual master of Mahaprabhu, they are god brothers. So Mahaprabhu always give respect, a special seat. If there is an assembly, he will give his honor to Paramananda Puri first. And then he's asking one devotee who is arranging all the quarters for Mahaprabhu followers, Kasi Mishra, to give some residential quarters for Paramananda Puri to stay, and that's been arranged. But there was one problem. Like every house in India would have a well. Now it's all modern system. There are pipes, there's a municipal water. But before, you must have access to the well. Maybe it's nearby the house, maybe it's in the grounds of the house. But the well, in the place where Paramananda Puri was staying, produced very salty water, not so nice water. And Paramananda Puri suffered because of that, and somehow he did not complain, but somehow it came to attention of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and immediately Mahaprabhu said, oh, let me go there. So Mahaprabhu went there, and then he got some water from the well, and he drank it, and he said, from now on, this well will produce the water that can cure the disease of material existence. And this is my promise, and this is my blessing, and please, everybody come and taste it. And everybody was astonished that instead of salty water, a very sweet water came out of that well by the grace of Mahaprabhu. It is also described that Mahaprabhu, he invited all the holy rivers, the Ganges and other holy rivers and the bodies of water to enter that well. So it is said, and also he infused it Krishna Prema. So it is said that whoever drinks from that well with pure heart, faith, sincerity, will get that Krishna Prema. So Rupanuga Prabhu, we all had some water from there.
Yes.
Who knows
and it was sweet.
what's going to happen? And every time you speak, the only words that we hear from you is Hare Krishna. Well, in Australian, unique way of saying Hare Krishna. So you must have gotten something from that well. So this is the story of Paramananda Puri well. And on the subject, I just wanted to say, to rectify myself, I was acting under the guidance of Madhusudan Mahārāj, who put me in a spotlight to be an MC. He was supposed to be an MC. That's one thing I have to mention.
It wasn't me.
Yes.
I got the instruction that this
Second
festival
thing,
you will be the MC.
Second thing, as Madhusudan Mahārāj mentioned, Goswami Mahārāj specifically requested his disciples to give some priority. And really, he tolerated so much. This was the longest event. And you know Mahārāj, it's difficult for him to see through 3 hours. We did 3 hours, don't forget that. And as Vyasa put, it's not just difficult physically, but think about it. You're sitting there and everybody's glorifying you. It's horrible. It's the most painful experience in the life of the spiritual master somehow, but Mahārāj handled it very well. But when we came up to his room, he said, oh, I know one person we should have asked. And I know she would like to say some things. And I'm very much missing her association. And that is Kumkum Didi. He said that. So Kumkum Didi, you can write some words of appreciation. Goswami Mahārāj will be very happy to hear. And he also felt some regret. And then after that, even I started feeling even more regret that we did not give you some time during that assembly to say some words of appreciation.
I received so many blessings. It was unbelievable. I do have one question. I've already included Bhakti Lalita, and I'm wondering how he will feel about all of these. It's sort of like an inspiration that many people have about recording those early days, because when somebody starts talking about it, the details and it keeps unfolding and unfolding, and I'm just wondering if he wants to have something to say about it. So maybe you or Bhakti Lalita or you, Madhusudan Mahārāj, could find out, and then somebody can try to capture this incredible history. Who was it? One person reading all of this said it should be part of the UNESCO heritage sites, the places they capture. And actually it is not with that, but with something else, because the architect was world famous, and I found that. But it's that was when I could really understand it's not about the physical building, which itself was overwhelmingly beautiful, but it was about the pastimes that happened there were just too unbelievable.
And
So,
Kumkum Didi, about your photo, it went viral, not just in America or some European places or whoever is in the Facebook or Instagram and all those places. There's a big chunk of the world that doesn't have access to those resources. And it went viral big time in China, because I'm always monitoring our Chinese preaching WeChat platforms. And it's all over the place, and the devotees are sharing the photograph, and they say, oh, look, this is why it all happened. So another thing I wanted to say.
oh, that photograph that I took of the garage. Oh my goodness.
And I wonder who took the photograph, because there's a photograph and whatever you said under it, but somehow they did not disclose the person who posted it.
Okay.
Maybe trying to protect you. Who knows?
Trying to protect the world from me.
But anyhow, it's having an impact, and devotees are very happy. So please write something to Goswami Mahārāj. He will be very happy to hear from you. Or just give him a call.
Yeah. Life-giving. I'll tell one more little story about the difficulties that we would go through and think them as just nectar. And one time I had 4 small children in my car, and my husband did not go that time. And so I was making the trip myself. And there's one part of the trip which is called the the most dangerous stretch of highway in the United States for the number of accidents that happen. And that didn't matter. You just like, you just keep going forward and forward. But this particular day, it was extraordinarily windy. It was some sort of an incredible storm. And one of the places we had to go was a high bridge that went over a river. And the winds were so strong that the car was shaking back and forth. And because I had these small children with me, I couldn't reveal how fearful I was. And at one point I stopped the car because I was so afraid, and I wanted to see if that would, maybe it would stop and then I could proceed. And that didn't help at all. So I got back in, and then suddenly the picture of what I was going toward, the temple and the programs were, and how all of us would be so happily received, and what they would be telling us and everything, that just made the fear completely vanish. It was like a miracle. I couldn't believe it just flipped from being terrifying to how it didn't matter at all. I guess sometimes when people go on an airplane, they would go to see Gurudev, and it would seem like there was some danger with the flight, but that was all right. We were with Gurudev. Yeah. It's wonderful to know these people are still experiencing that. It's ever fresh.
Beautiful. By the way, here, just mentioning about Kumkum, in that evening, because here it was morning, the program that took place there. And then we actually here were saying, we should invite Kumkum to join us, but we were just us, like we were very few, and one was in the kitchen. So literally 3 of us in the temple room. We thought we can't really invite Kumkum for just 3 of us. But here today, and I believe, oh yes, look, Praneshri, she's recording. So maybe we can also send Goswami Maharaj that clip. He'd be very happy.
Okay.
So beautiful. We are fortunate. We are privileged. We've got a private insight from Kumkum Diri today on our back to basics.
I am one.
Excuse me?
I am one person who wants to sing his glories.
Jai, beautiful. And in the meantime, Praneshri Devidasi is sitting very quietly, but she's given us some quotation. And this is all about taste. And maybe Kumkum Diri was reading my thoughts. I don't know why. I do not know why this quotation exactly came up. Maybe somebody can say, oh, well, from Kumkum's talking before about the heart thing. Yes, okay. So here, would you like me to read it? Whenever I ask her, oh, please, you read it. She says, oh, you read it. So anyway, I'll take the liberty and to read it. Here's Guru Mahārāj in the loving search for the lost servant, and from the chapter Planets of Faith. So Srila Guru Mahārāj speaking. So Jai Srila Guru Mahārāj ki Jai. So in the Manu Sanghita, it is stated, okay, I'll spare you the Sanskrit and we come straight to Guru Mahārāj explaining the verse. He's not giving it like inverted commas translation, but he's explaining. We can feel within our heart whether we are gainers or losers. That tasting machine is within us. Okay, that tasting machine is within us. As we progress in Krishna consciousness, our karma, our connection with this material world will evaporate in no time, and spacious knowledge will come to satisfy us. At that time, we shall feel the object of our life everywhere. Mayi drishte kilatmani. When we can see that the fulfillment of life has embraced us, we shall see that everything within the environment is helping us. Everything is sympathetic to us from all sides. In that spiritual domain, everyone shall take interest in loving us. Beautiful. And perhaps this is this next
It
one?
continues. It continues. It's just that I don't have enough characters. This continues.
Okay, so this is a continuation. Guru Maharaj still speaking. We may be careless about our own interest, but the environment there is more favorable and affectionate to us than we can even estimate. Just as a child cannot estimate the extent of his mother's affection. In this way, friends and home comforts, in this way, friends and home comforts will surround us. And with this realization, we shall go back to God, back to home. And Chintamani's put a message here. Highway 17. Is this an esoteric message?
When she was mentioning that she was driving with the kids on a highway, that's the number of the highway.
Dangerous highway. Okay. Highway 17. Those of you who know it.
That's a very dangerous one. It goes from San Jose to Santa Cruz, but the one that's even worse than that is 52 or 152 or something. It goes to a place called Los Banos. And there are too many large trucks and it's only 2-lane. And so people can't be patient enough to wait until they can safely pass the trucks. And so there's too many head-on collisions.
Oh dear.
And Mahārāj,
yes.
I just posted the link of original composition of Bhakti Siddhir Goswami Mahārāj, where he is establishing what is Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. Again, as a reminder, and no doubt it is based on Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev's expressions. So devotees can copy it and read it again. It's an article.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Right,
article.
It's a little long to read here, but yes.
No, it's just for the devotees to copy.
Wonderful. Yes, I've opened it. I see it is quite a long link. Jai Radha Sundari Devi Das is with us. Ananga Krishna Prabhu is with us. Dandavat to you both. And Julian Bliss behind a mask will be? Dandavat. Okay. We're going to need a little reminder, Kumkum Diri. Yes, Dandavat. How are you doing? Your microphone is off.
Very good, Mahārāj. Yeah, I'm here with Jai Nanda Prabhu. Show him yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm not the body, so he can't see me anyway.
Oh no, show him. Show him.
Dhanyavad, Mahārāj.
Dhanyavad.
And in which
Thanks for
city
doing
are
these
you?
classes, Mahārāj.
Which city are you behind you?
I'm in Berkeley, California.
In Berkeley, okay.
It's near San Francisco.
Yeah. It's also famous for the devotees who came to Guru Maharaj. Berkeley was also one of those nurturing points where Guru Maharaj's message first came to the West.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Srila Swami Mahārāj Prabhupada has visited Berkeley. And Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Mahārāj also visited Berkeley. Yeah, he gave a talk at UC Berkeley. Srila Govinda Mahārāj, Srila Gurudev did.
Right.
So two pure devotees have visited here.
And two sincere aspiring devotees are walking those same streets. Well done.
Yeah, aspiring. Yeah.
At least we're doing a little hard.
I didn't mean aspiring in that sense. Aspiring to be.
He wants to do Harinam every day. Actually, he said he wants to do that.
Yeah, let's do Harinam every day. You up for it? You and me, Harinam.
We did a little bit for a few minutes, not too long, but people are looking at us a bit strange. Hare Krishna Mahārāj.
What do we care?
What do we care? We look strange enough. Look at our size. Look at us. Look like the two stooges, you know.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. You look like two Vaishnavas because your hearts are there.
Aspiring. Very high.
You're Vaishnava.
I aspire to that. By the mercy of the devotees, maybe someday, hopefully, I can become a Vaishnava. I mean, although technically I am initiated by a bona fide Vaishnava guru, so I technically have that. And I always wear my beads, and I like try and do my japamala every day and like that. Yeah.
We were up 26 and a half hours last night for a world vegan. I don't know if he was up the whole time, but I was.
I wasn't there for that.
Trying to get people to reduce the violence to the animals, even to reduce the dairy. If they still take dairy, we should protect the cows. At least we're taking it from them. So I'm encouraging that. So I'm just going.
Although I've been telling them that, cow protection, very important, but let's do the real medicine. Harinam Sankirtan, that's the real medicine. The real solution to all problems in this age and the medicine for all diseases is Harinam Sankirtan.
Right. All right, beautiful things. So do good for others. And as one of our friends says, do good for others and don't get caught.
Okay. I like that. Very good. I like that.
Very good, man.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad, Dandavad. So
We'll put it on silent now. Yes.
Oh, all right. Wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you in Berkeley. We seem to be having a very first days of Krishna consciousness of Guru Mahārāj's wave remembrance this week. And Berkeley is one of those places. And Kumkum can give news about Berkeley too. No doubt another time maybe. Hare Krishna. Who would like to contribute? Who has something in their pocket they may like to contribute?
Maharaj, I think Abhinava Sundar is dying to contribute something.
Let's see. He's active and out and about. But we would like to hear from them, no doubt, if they're able to say something. Oh, they're staying silent. Oh, yes, revealing some form.
Mahārāj, I can't refuse, much as I want to.
You could talk about what you thought about David.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kelly Kadamba and I were both thinking about this, that actually Kumkum already mentioned it, so it's not really even an original thought or feeling. But David Sheesh Prabhu's offering to Śrīla Goswami Mahārāj the other day, I mean, it was just so exceptionally sweet and beautiful. Such an amazing, he would just bear his heart out for all of us. Just, it was incredible.
Well, I thought it was also because recently I was heard a few times Śrīla Goswami Maharaj talk about how after Śrīla Prabhupada left the world and they came to see Guru Mahārāj and they had all this huge list of questions, and then without even sort of beginning, Guru Mahārāj just started speaking about the pain of the disappearance of Guru, and Goswami Maharaj was saying that they didn't have any words to express all the feelings in their hearts. They couldn't describe any of it, and he couldn't articulate it. And I feel like that's absolutely me all the time. And listening to Devashish Prabhu as so sincerely just pouring out his heart to Śrīla Goswami Mahārāj, it was like, not only like, wow, I can't articulate those types of feelings, that sentiment and that sincerity. And also, but he can, sorry, I'm driving, but our senior God family are able to do that on our behalf and also give us so much nourishment and inspiration on the path. Like, yes, like if I could have a drop of that, one little drop of that type of sincerity, that's what it's all about. But I feel so far. That's why it's so hard to speak, because I don't have that. But to be in the presence of those sincere souls that actually can express something like that, just such supremely inconceivable fortune. And also what Paramananda Prabhu said. I mean, so many, but it's we're just little flies that get to somehow be on the wall and don't really have much else to offer.
You are like bees on the honey.
Maybe you'll convert us into bees, Mahārāj.
Ho, ho, ho.
Put a bit of gold on our black.
Interesting comment. Painting gold on our black forms. Let's see. Now there is something, but please don't copy it and distribute. You copy it and see it, but please don't copy it and distribute it, because I know maybe Praneshri, Kumkum, and others of you, Chintamani, please don't distribute that. But there's a link here, and why I'm asking not to distribute, because Swami Maharaj doesn't want that this is distributed. It is for the faithful family like this, as we all are here. And I'll put a link in the chat box here for that program on Monday for Goswami Maharaj's Vyasa Puja, his appearance day. And I just thought of it just now because just now Kelly Kadambaran mentioning about the talk of Devashish, or Abhinav was saying about the talk of Devashish. He began his talk by saying, actually, what Goswami Maharaj gave was like the exemplary presentation of what is a Vyasa Puja day. And actually, Goswami Maharaj talked for a long time, and I thought he had some strategy that, okay, he'll talk for the whole time, and there'll be minimal time for anybody else to chant his glories, because as Paramananda said, like very painful to sit there and have somebody, you know, saying the glories. But we know Goswami Maharaj passing it all on to Guru Maharaj, to Gurudev, and to Srila Prabhupada, giving all honor to Guru. However, I put it in the box, but please, this is privately for you. Oh, I don't have it on my clipboard anymore. Ha. Is this a sign? No, it's not a sign. So, so this has a talk of Goswami Maharaj. I expect, I mean, I hope this is a recording of the whole thing. I was given the link by the group yesterday privately. So this is for the private circle. I just remind, please not to pass this out. There.
Yes, Maharaj, it's the whole thing over there, I'm pretty sure.
It is the whole thing. Okay, wonderful. And so you'll hear also the talk of Devashish Prabhu and the talk of others which are there. Hare Krishna. Govinda Govinda and Radha Sundari Devidasi in Mayapur, the center of the world of Navadip. We are very Navadip conscious. We are Krishna consciousness movement, but we are Mahaprabhu, Nimai Sunda conscious movement, very much. Hare Krishna. And by the way, the quotation that also came from Praneshwari, this is what Guru Maharaj and Guru Dev gave us in Navadip, their temple, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. Their family, their guidance was this, the home comfort, family affection, refuge, oasis in this world.
And Mahārāj, I took it from page 11 because she mentioned that page 11 was just like turning point.
Oh, okay. So this is directly page 11. That's Kumkum
exactly right.
referred to earlier on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When I was reading, that's when I could no longer keep it to myself. It was the middle of the morning, no matter what anybody was doing.
Wonderful things. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So tell me, any brief comment from anybody? we seem to have had a very strong, nourishing vitamins, proteins, ions, calories, carbohydrates, whatever all the good things are gathering today.
Maharaj, actually, Krishna Priya sent a message to Goswami Maharaj. She also wanted to say something, but couldn't say because she said, our disciples are there, we have to give priority. Abhinav, are you trying to say something?
One more thing, Maharaj, because
Abhinav, the internet was slow
I was
because
at
you were
Jose
moving.
Temple, so beautiful.
Oh,
Huh?
the internet, it must be breaking
Oh,
up.
it's
We couldn't hear anything you said just now because I think you're in a moving car.
no, the car's not moving.
Oh, now we can hear you. Well, please.
You can hear okay?
Yes.
Turn off your video, Abhinav Sundar Prabhu. Perhaps we'll hear better.
Yeah, you can hear still. Yep. Oh, now we're moving. Let's see what happens. But okay, so what I say is that the current San Jose Temple is so beautiful, and all the flowers out the front and down the side along the driveway, and everything about it when you walk in there just feels so nourishing and sweet and beautiful. Everything about it is just so sweet and beautiful, and the ladies who are there just like maintaining it for so long, just so beautifully, that this is still like a tribute to the beginnings of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mod in San Jose and in America, and it really it's such a lovely place, and that Mahaprabhu there is so special.
Yeah.
Kelly Kadamba wants to
No,
say,
no.
no? Okay. Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar, Jai. And what did Gurudev say? That this Mahaprabhu would open 17 temples or something like that, right?
Yes.
No?
The first one was Sokel, because he was here, and then Gurudev said that, and he went to Sokel, and Gurudev said that he was lonely, and so he called for Shri Gandharva Giridhari. And then at one point, Gurudev said, now he's already established them, and he's established this temple. He wants to go back to his own home. And that was when he came back to San Jose. And so I think the other temples are the ones that people who were here and who were inspired by him and everything that Gurudev said. I think that's, they've all opened up, like Salt Lake City and now Texas as well. You know, everyone who is inspired by Mahaprabhu here.
All right, beautiful.
So that's 3, 14 to go.
Yeah.
And it is true that San Jose temple today, it really is a beautiful temple in quite an ordinary kind of a town. It itself is an oasis. It's a beautiful place to drive into. And again, because of the devotees, the devotion, all these things. And on Facebook, then Christina Dawson, Krishna Kanti Didi is with us. And we remember her hospitality there in America and her 2 brothers and participation for so many years. So I'm very happy to have you with us. And Gaur N, which is probably Gaur Narayan, maybe. Gaur N is with us. But welcome indeed to each. And of course, to all the devotees who will watch presently, be with us presently, because we know that lots also see online. So here in Italy and also in South Africa, it is very early in the morning, a wonderful way to start our day in association of you all and hearing such things. And May our day and each of our days continue, whether it is early morning, late morning, afternoon or evening, or even late at night, as in the case of Florida. Then may our each 24 hours continue in such kind of remembrance and association. All right, dear devotees, Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Mahārāj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Mahārāj, Srila Bhakti Rakkhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Mahārāj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And grandfather, if you like, in one sense, Jai Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupananda Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All of our present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. And all the worldwide devotees ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo.
Jai Om Vishnu Parshada Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj.
Dubya Eva Cha Anam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat, Dandavat. And Madhavi Didi joined us just here at the end. Madhavi Didi, we had a wonderful program. Ask Praneshwari for the link. She'll happily share it with you.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat, Dandavat. All right, to one and all. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
All right, I leave you together happily, but at least I need to move along. Excuse me.